when I turned 40, I thought, I'm a 40-year-old woman with a stay-at-home mom with no kids at home. My kids are both in school, and I thought, what is it I want to do for a living and do with my life? Not even for a living, just like what do I want to do with my life at the end of my life, and I'm about to take my last breath. Like I just don't want to say what if. And and at that time, I was so identified by being a stay-at-home mom. And before that, I had run a motel and restaurant for 15 years, which is a whole other topic.
Wow. Wow.
And so this is definitely, screenwriting and writing in general is definitely like a reinvention of myself. But and I'd always wanted to write a book. And when I was in college, I went to Cornell and I went to the hotel and restaurant school there, and I had to take a couple writing classes. And I had this professor who was trying to convince me to change my major and switch over to writing. And he took me out to lunch. He loved my work. He took me out to lunch trying to convince me. And I was 19 years old. And I looked at him, and I will never forget this day. And I said, "But why would anyone want to read anything I have to say?" And that, just that fear of why would someone want to read something I have to say, or that I couldn't say anything important enough for people to read, and also the fact that writing at that point in my life just felt like one big term paper. Like why would I want to keep doing that? So I ran from it, and I did the thing that was safe, the thing that people had told me I was supposed to do. This is what you're supposed to go to hotel school, this is what you're supposed to do. So it wasn't until I became 40 that I thought, you know what, I'm going to try it. But even then, I couldn't find any sort of level of success until I really started to believe in myself. And Slavery by Another Name was a huge part of that. Pursuing that project was a huge part of facing my fears, because I was still doing and writing the things other people wanted me to write, and I wasn't writing what I wanted to write and what really spoke to me until I, picked up that phone and called Doug Blackman and just, made it happen. But I had to put all the fear aside in order to do that, because I was really my own worst enemy. Like I was paralyzing myself, being stuck, thinking about it, people judging me, and what is this white girl from upstate New York, what could she possibly bring to the subject of slavery post-Civil War, in Montgomery, Alabama. But for me, it was, I think everybody at some point in their life, and I don't mean to equate my life or my experience with that which these people had suffered through, but at any point in somebody's life, you can at least relate to that sensation and that feeling of feeling trapped and like you're not in control or empowering your own life. And for me, that was like the thing that I tapped into. But in order to pursue that and to achieve that goal, I have really had to figure out a way to not be fearful. And I think once I figured that out, and then when I started my Ramblings by a Recovering Secureaholic blog, it was about really continuing to push myself as a writer to expose as much as I could and be as fearless as possible in my writing, because that's when I would get a reaction from people, that they were moved by my words. And so that positive reinforcement from my readers just made me go farther and farther and farther.